And keep it going for Josh as he comes in.
Thanks. So, it's September 2001, kind of a hard time in New York, kind of sad. I'm feeling, very upset. We're all upset. And my wife says to me, I think I want to get pregnant again. And I said, well, I don't know. We already have 2 daughters. Emma's 4, Sarah's 3. I'm very happy. I don't want another baby. She says, yes, we should. After September 11th, I think it'll show Osama bin Laden, who's, I'm like, what the hell does Osama bin Laden care about us having a baby? I don't even think he'd know. And she says, yes, and we need a baby. We have 2 girls, and we should have a boy, and we need a boy named after your father. And I'm like, my father's been dead for like 25 years, loved my father, and he doesn't care. We had a dog named Sam, and that was my father's name. And whenever my mother called my father, the dog would come, and my father said, I never want anybody named Sam again around me ever. So I said, he doesn't want anybody named after him. She's like, well, yes, we should do it. And I felt very bad, and I said, well, I tried to pull out the last hope, and I said, listen, we shouldn't have sex now because we're in mourning, and it's a bad time, and I don't want to enjoy anything. And she says, look, this sex won't be enjoyable for sure. And so I think maybe she's right. Maybe we should try for a third. But we live in Manhattan, and I'm so stressed anyway, and I'm a CPA, and I'm trying to support the family, but I'm like, you know what? We're kind of old, and it's probably not going to happen, so sure, I'll go for it. And, we're having like a lot of sex, and she was right. It totally wasn't fun because you've got to, the thing is you've got to have it like at a certain time. Anybody who's gotten pregnant, I don't know. So anyway, but when you're trying to have a baby, there are times, and you got to, it's position, and she's on her head, and whatever. So but we're trying, and it's the end of September, and we're trying. I'm at work, and she calls me, and she says, oh, Josh, you're not going to believe it. This is such great news. And I'm like, oh, really? What's the news? And she says, listen, I'm pregnant. And, a client is sitting there. I'm like, listen, I can't really talk right now. And she says, yeah, this is so exciting. It's a boy. And I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to have a boy. That's so great. But I'm kind of not feeling that way, but I say that. But, what am I going to do? She's pregnant, and she says, and you know what? We're going to have a girl, too. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I tell the client to please leave because we're just talking about their taxes, and I don't give a shit about their taxes. I'm like, we're going to have a girl, too? Wow, twins. And she goes, no, it's not twins. There's another boy in there. And I'm like, what the fuck do you have going on in there? And so she tells me we're having triplets. I should be happy. I'm so devastated. And we have this like little apartment in Manhattan, and I'm opening drawers thinking, where the hell are we going to put all these kids? The 2 girls in their bedroom with the clouds, this place is going to be ruined. And then I'm thinking about diapers and tuition, money. That's all I can think about. And if I tell you, I'm thinking, well, this is a very bad thought, and I know I should be happy. I'm thinking, well, it's not really likely that she'll go full term with triplets, and that's I know. I also was upset at the thought, but it's a thought. You have a lot of thoughts during the day. Anyway. Yeah. So it turns out she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. She gets like huge, and then she has 3 amnios, and they're all fine. And oh my God. But I'll tell you the turning point. She names them. And once you name them, you can't, it's Jacob, Sam, and Lucy. And she knows where Jacob is, and she says, Jacob looks like you. And I'm like, how the hell do you know he looks like me? Anyway, so she's getting gigantic, and it's like you can't. And by the way, that sex all the time, that's over. That is so over, and I'm like longing for those days. But so meanwhile, I swear it's like 8 months of just thinking about how am I going to do this? 5 kids in Manhattan, it's just not going to work out. I can't do it. I'm leaving. But I don't leave. I stay, and the day comes. she's huge. It's just going to be a C-section, and like her water breaks. But if I tell you, it's like a little tsunami. The water breaks. We go to the hospital, but she's going to have a C-section, but it's not supposed to happen yet. She's like a month early, and so we go to the hospital, and the doctor says, you're having your babies today, and she's like, no, I'm not prepared. He's like, you're having them today. Meanwhile, the 2 girls are in school. I'm supposed to go home and pack her bag. What the hell do you pack for a trip? I don't know. She says, you're going home, and then, and she sends me home, and she goes into the OR, and then I come back with her little bag, and there's like 30 doctors in the room because she's gone like almost full term, and has anybody ever seen an epidural? It's horrible. It's this giant needle, and I'm thinking, it's for me. No. And they put up this curtain, and they cut her open, and I know, they start... All right, I know exactly how... They start pulling out babies. There's like babies coming. They're pulling out babies. I make the mistake of, look, there's blood all over the place, and these kids just keep coming out, and I just keep seeing, oh my God, college, and I just can't even, I'm like thinking I'm never gonna make it through this, and they come out, and actually one of them was a little blue, not Blau, that's my last name, it was a little blue, and but actually they went into the NICU, and Lucy was fine, she's the girl, she was fine, she kicks their ass to this day. Anyway, and the triplets were born. Jacob, Sam, and Lucy. 405, 406, 407. That's the time. And they were 5 pounds each. And Emma and Sarah had 3 siblings instantly. By the way, Sarah, who was 3 at the time, we kept bringing babies home. She almost had like a nervous breakdown. She was like, oh, a baby. Next day, another baby. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, today the triplets are 9 years old. They are healthy. They're finishing 3rd grade. As a matter of fact, Jacob said to me the other day, he said, Daddy, I just turned 50. He said, Daddy, for your 50th birthday, for my 50th birthday, will you still be alive? I said, I hope so. Thank you.
Josh Blau.